So we have just started the meaning of non-tariff barrier. Okay, we have already studied about tariff barrier. That is over. This is non-tariff. Other than the tariff, what are the other trade barriers? Okay. So what do you mean by non-tariff barrier? Non-tariff, this I have discussed that day, restricting the imports through the measures other than tariff. This is the main sentence. Here the imports are restricted through other measures. Tariff or the custom duty is not used, but we are using other measures. It include import quota, import license, voluntary export restrictions, testing requirements, etc. We are going to discuss that. What are the non-tariff barrier? 1 minute. What are the non-tariff barrier? That's what we are going to discuss. Non-tariff barrier is divided into two. That is, how are we dividing it? First one, how it is impacting the price of imported goods. आपको मालूम है whether it is tariff or non-tariff barrier, it will be directly affecting the price of imported goods. Because basic purpose of the government to impose the tariff is to reduce the import. Okay, so naturally how it will affect the price of the import. Then second is the quantity. There are two angles we are looking. One is the price of the imported goods. Second is the quantity of imported goods. First non-tariff barrier is import quota. Okay. First non-tariff barrier is the import quota. College का university circular आया नहीं है. That is why college is not open. Everybody is waiting for the university circular. Okay. So what is import quota? First you understand quota means quantity restrictions. Here you go. Quota means quantity restrictions. इंपोर्ट करने का टाइम जो क्वांटिटी इंपोर्ट करता है उसके ऊपर जो रेस्ट्रिक्शंस आता है दैट इज कोटा. टैरिफ में व्हाट वाज द रेस्ट्रिक्शन? टैरिफ में द रेस्ट्रिक्शंस वाज ऑन द import only through custom duty, but their quantity was not coming in the picture. Here quantity is coming in the picture. Okay, these are maximum quantity of imports of a commodity that are fixed by government. Very, very important. What do you mean by quota? The maximum quantity of import that can be done in a country and it is fixed by government. Okay, say for example, the quantity of, government is deciding one jeweler can import only say 3 kilo of gold. Okay, so that is the quota. He cannot import more than 3 kilo. If we speak about tariff, what will be that? If he is importing gold worth 50 lakhs, then 10% custom duty will be imposed. Whether we are discussing the total value. Accordingly, we will decide the custom duty. Either there is no question of value, it is the quantity. It can be 1 kilo, it can be 10 kilo, it can be 100 kilo. That restriction is done by the government. These are government imposed import restrictions. 2 points are important. Who is imposing it? Government. What government is imposing? Import restrictions. Import करने के लिए government बहुत सारा restrictions लगाएगा. Why they are doing so? So that domestic goods will be demanded. That's the basic purpose behind it. Domestic production को effect होना नहीं चाहिए. These are imposed to restrict the import. देखो, what is the purpose? The whole purpose is this: to restrict the import during a particular period and to boost the domestic production. of restricted goods. Children, it is very, very important. I am going to underline it again. Why does government impose import quota? इसके बाद आपको लिखना पड़ेगा. First one is government wants to restrict the import. बाहर से जो आइटम आता है उसका क्वांटिटी रेस्ट्रिक्ट करना चाहता है. सेकेंड इज बाहर का क्वांटिटी कम होने पर आपको क्या होगा, डोमेस्टिकली आप जो प्रोड्यूस करते हैं वो आप बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. दैट इज द मीनिंग. दैट मीन्स simply government wanted to discourage import. Government wants to see that we are domestically producing that commodity. Again, I am repeating, there are two basic objectives for the import quota. What are the two basic objectives? Point number one, it is restrict the imports. Imports को कम करेगा. Second is, it will give encouragement for domestic production so that we will become self-sufficient. That is the meaning of it. Import quotas directly reduces the quota. एक बार कोटा इंट्रोड्यूस कर दिया, अपने आप क्वांटिटी जो इंपोर्ट करते हैं वो कम हो जाएगा. Example, government says that I told you 2 kilo of gold can be imported by a jeweler. So 2 kilo के आगे 0.01 भी नहीं आएगा. It is a known fact. Similar, so government says you can import 500 tons of cement. So वो 500 ton के ऊपर एक point भी नहीं जाएगा. These are more effective in reducing the deficit in the balance of payment. आपको मालूम है, whether it is tariff or whether it is quota, we are using this basically to reduce the balance of payment deficit. I'm repeating you, or you try to understand what is deficit in BOP. Beginning lecture में हमने पढ़ा है what is deficit in BOP. BOP is balance of payment. What is deficit in BOP, children? Take down. Payment is more than receipt. Payment is more than receipt. I told you India is getting, for example, $100 by export, but we are paying $150 for import. So there is a deficit. 100 मिलता है, 150 देता है, कौन सा लॉजिक है? So इंडिया का import का structure में भी यही आता है. Always payment is more than receipt. Okay. Now, import quota directly reduce the quantity imported, which I told you. Import quota का speciality वही है, सीधा import को कम करेगा. So what did we study today? I was teaching you the types of quota. Quota means what, children? Quantitative restriction. That is the meaning of the term quota. So the first quota is import quota. इधर हम किसको restrict करता है? Import को. Okay. So these are the maximum quantity of import that a nation can import. All right. So what government has to do is, government has to put import control. एक बार import control आने पर quantity of import will become less. When the quantity of chocolates become less, what is the advantage? People will use domestically produced chocolate. So domestically जो production होता है उसका demand increase होगा. How it is increasing? Basically because government is restricting the import. Please understand. So when government is restricting the import, there may be balance of payment not in equilibrium, because here government का quota है commodity के ऊपर. उसके अनुसार क्या होता है? First, it is reducing the import. Second is, it is boosting, or it's giving a boost to domestic. Okay. So we were discussing that when the government is imposing the quota, imports will be reduced, domestic production will be encouraged. This is the logic behind it. Now, what are the types of import quota? Be careful, children. ये सब objective में आएगा if your exam is objective. First is tariff quota. That word is little tricky. Tariff quota. इधर tariff भी है, quota भी है. Again, I'm repeating. Tariff means it is the custom duty. Quota means it is a quantitative restriction. I hope it is very clear to you. So what is tariff quota? Import of a commodity up to specific quantity are allowed either with or without duty or low rate of tariff. But the import excess of the quota are imposed high tariff rate. 3 points are there. First, this is a combination of tariff and quota, tariff quota. इधर गवर्नमेंट क्या करेगा? गवर्नमेंट सेज दैट इतना क्वांटिटी तक आपको इंपोर्ट कर सकता है. फॉर एग्जांपल, यू कैन इंपोर्ट अप टू 2 किलो ऑफ गोल्ड एवरी मंथ. लेट अस से you can import 2 kilo of gold every month. So in this case, what will be the role of government? Government will fix the quantity. Okay, itna up to 2 lakh or up to a particular limit. What will happen? You can import. 2 lakh तक आपको gold import कर सकता है. Madam, then कैसा duty देना पड़ेगा? It will be zero duty or very less duty. Because up to a limit, government is allowing the import. But you are a person who wants more import. So, एक quota के ऊपर जो है, उसके लिए आपको high rate देना पड़ेगा. Okay, high rate देना पड़ेगा. That is the meaning of it. What is tariff quota, children? It is a combination of two things. It is a combination of what? It is a combination of tariff plus quota. First, government is imposing quota restriction. When government is imposing quota restrictions, what will happen, children? Up to a particular quota, you can import the goods. कैसे import करेगा? Either the duty can be zero or it will be a very nominal amount. I told you it is, you can import up to 2 kilos. All right. Suppose you want to import for another 2 lakh. In that case, क्या होगा? You can import it, but only thing is that जो ये quota के ऊपर है, उसके लिए आपको import duty देना पड़ेगा. Then we are talking about unilateral quota. ये देखिए. What is unilateral quota? When a country imposed quota on the import of a commodity, without prior negotiation, it is known as unilateral quota. I am repeating. Government of India is imposing quota. Government of India is imposing quota, okay, from another country without having any negotiation. For example, the trade is between India and, let us say, France. Trade is between India and France. Okay, so ये unilateral quota में क्या करेगा? Government of India will put the restrictions. लेकिन वो restriction डालने का time France को पूछेगा भी नहीं, अपने आप करेगा. That is unilateral quota. But you are very well aware this is not a good system. When you are going to import from France, you should discuss with them. but it is not happening. एक साइड से अपने आप कंट्री कोटा इम्पोज करेगा. That is unilateral. This may be for global or we will discuss it. Under the global quota, country may be imported from any other country up to the full amount of quota limit. I told you आप दोनों का दो कंट्री का बीच में कितना लिमिट है, वो लिमिट का मैक्सिमम तक यू कैन इंपोर्ट. उसके आगे आप इंपोर्ट करने पर आपको ड्यूटी देना पड़ेगा. Every country can import those products where the maximum is allowed. Okay. उसके आगे you cannot import. Please remember. Under there are two types of quota: global quota and allocated quota. What is global quota? Under global quota, country may be imported from any country up to the full amount of quota limit. Global quota means India France से कितना import कर सकता है कि वो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया डिसाइड करेगा. इंडिया यूएई से कितना क्रूड ऑयल इंपोर्ट कर सकता है. Okay, so like that India will be fixing the maximum quota limit. That is the meaning of global. पूरा वर्ल्ड से चाइना से इतना इंपोर्ट करने का, फ्रांस से इतना इंपोर्ट करने का, थाईलैंड से इतना इंपोर्ट करने का, पूरा ग्लोबल कोटा गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया विल फिक्स. Under allocated quota, total quota limit is distributed. See this word. Allocated quota क्या है? Allocated quota में जितना maximum import है, okay, that will be distributed among the countries. Among the countries. What is the meaning? एक country को पूरा import करने का permission देने के बिना अलग अलग कंट्री को देगा. इट इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड. व्हाट इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड? जो इंपोर्ट करने का कोटा है दैट इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड. दैट इज द मीनिंग. सो दैट जनरली यू आर अवेयर allocated quota is better. What is the reason? Because we are importing from various countries. Suppose that you are importing only from one country. कल वो कंट्री के साथ हमारा पॉलिटिकल रिलेशन अच्छा नहीं हुआ, naturally our import will be affected. So it should not happen. What is important is you should import from different countries and you should keep the quota limit. Itna quota tak we can import from Egypt. Itna quota tak we can import from Portugal. That is the meaning of allocated quota. So there are two types of quota, children. One is global quota, other is allocated quota. Okay. What is global quota? उसमें लिखो बच्चे लोग. ग्लोबल कोटा क्या है? आई एम जस्ट वॉचिंग योर चैट बॉक्स. ग्लोबल एंड एलोकेटेड कोटा में क्या डिफरेंस है? आवाज किधर गया? यस, वेरी गुड रेशमा, वेरी गुड. आपका रिजल्ट का बारे में कुछ आइडिया है नहीं. यूनिवर्सिटी की तरफ से आने का तो हाई टाइम हो गया. एनी टाइम इट विल कम बिकॉज योर रिजल्ट इज declared by university, not by the college. So any time it is expected. Why the delay is happening, even I cannot understand. Okay. So समझ में आया? Global quota, I told you, the country will decide. अमेरिका से इतना ही import करने का. अमेरिका decide करेगा इंडिया से इतना amount ही import करने का. There are so many factors how they are coming to their conclusion. Okay. Now allocated quota में country can import the products to different countries. That is the meaning. But quota limit of the quota limit, total quota is distributed among the specified exporting country. वही बोला, suppose there are 5 countries, हमारा जितना कोटा है वो 5 कंट्री के बीच में डिवाइड करेगा. That is the meaning. One minute, children. Now, what is bilateral quota? आप इधर आप भी पढ़ा, क्या पढ़ा? What is unilateral quota? यूनिलैटरल कोटा में एक ही साइड में डिसीजन लेता है, दूसरा साइड को वो फॉलो करना पड़ता है. ओके. बाइलैटरल, बिफोर डिस्कसिंग बाइलैटरल, व्हाट इज यूनिलैटरल कोटा चिल्ड्रन? एक ही कंट्री के ऊपर भी शुड नॉट डिपेंड अपॉन टोटल इंपोर्ट, इट शुड बी डाइवर्सिफाइड. So bilateral quota means the quota are fixed through negotiation. ये देखो, between the importing and exporting countries. This is known as bilateral quota. This is one of the best one. I told you India wants to reduce the import from France. Example. So bilateral में क्या होगा? India का export minister या finance minister and वो country का finance minister, they will sit together and they will decide. That is bilateral quota. Okay. Importing and exporting country के बीच में there will be negotiation. So we are discussing bilateral quota. What is bilateral quota, children? We will divide the amount of the quantity of imports among various, countries by discussing with them. अपने आप डिसीजन नहीं लेगा, बाकी कंट्री के सामने वो सेटअप करेगा और the decisions will be taken. That is bilateral. What is mixing quota? This is the height है mixing quota. It is a type of restriction that makes mandatory for the producer to use certain proportion of domestic raw material along with imported raw material. There is an agreement from the part of Government of India. What is the agreement? That is when you are importing any product, okay, it is very important that वो product का आधा से ज्यादा portion आप इंडिया में बनाओ. Okay, the rest means आधा से ज्यादा, I told you, उतने आपको import कर सकता है, नहीं तो उतने आपको. Now I will give you a very good example. Suppose that India is importing, let us assume 20 MRI machine. India is importing 20 MRI machine. In that, what is the mixing quota? What is the condition? आपको 100% सीधा वो machine import नहीं कर सकता है. वो machine का part से जो है वो ला सकता है, बाकी इंडिया का रॉ मटेरियल ही उसमें यूज करना पड़ेगा. The similar easiest example is Samsung का फोन. Next time when you are buying the Samsung phone, पीछे क्या लिखा है देखो, made in India, pan India movement. But we know that Samsung is a Greek, this here in this case bilateral quota में what is happening is proper negotiation is happening. There is over mixing quota में, I told you, means a portion of domestic raw material has to be used and rest can be imported one. Why such a condition is coming, children? Such condition is coming basically because domestic raw materials का use होना चाहिए. So 100% import होने के लिए government allow ही नहीं करेगा. Either government will fix a particular quota. I told you we are importing 20 MRI machine. So government will say that each MRI machine costs 2 crore. सो 40 करोड़ होता है. सो गवर्नमेंट बोलेगा 40 करोड़ का ड्यूटी देने का जरूरत नहीं है. बट व्हाट इज इम्पोर्टेंट, ए पर्टिकुलर पोर्शन आप 40% फॉरेन प्रोडक्ट यूज करो, 60% इंडियन प्रोडक्ट यूज करो. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दैट. रॉ मटेरियल्स 40-60. ये चेंज भी हो सकते हैं, 50-50 हो सकता है, 60-40 हो सकता है, लेकिन देयर विल बी अ benchmark by which all the countries will be following the rules. Okay, so it is very important is आप जैसा इंपोर्ट करता है उतना क्वांटिटी एक्सपोर्ट भी करना पड़ेगा. Okay, please remember, go through that. Do you understand, children? So mixing quota में मैंने क्या बोला, up to certain limit you can import the raw material or the product, लेकिन वो लिमिट के ऊपर इंडिया का रॉ मटेरियल ही यूज करना पड़ेगा. टेक द केस ऑफ सैमसंग मोबाइल. नेक्स्ट टाइम मोबाइल लेने का टाइम बॉक्स के पीछे क्या लिखा है देखो, मेड इन इंडिया, मेक इन इंडिया इनिशिएटिव. सो दैट व्हाट इज द मीनिंग, व्हेन आई एम परचेसिंग सैमसंग मोबाइल, उसका 100% कोरिया से नहीं आता है, उधर से आएगा 25-30%, रिमाइनिंग तो हमको ही करना पड़ेगा. ओके, why they are putting such condition, so that 100% import will not be there. That's a plus point. 100% import will not be there. People know that import करने पर भी पूरा assemble करना पड़ेगा, etc. And after a particular point, they will not allow. वो भी है, because जितना domestic allow करता है, उसके अनुसार ही आपको बाहर का प्रोडक्शन का भी अनुमति देगा. Okay, that's the meaning. I will share. One minute, children. Get it straight. माय डियर चिल्ड्रन, कितना बार बोलते हैं वो यूनिवर्सिटी से आने के चिल्ड्रन, कॉलेज का हाथ में कुछ भी नहीं है. सो ये हफ्ते में आना तो चाहिए, बहुत हाई टाइम हो गया. जब यूनिवर्सिटी डिक्लेयर करेगा उसी दिन ही आपका रिजल्ट आएगा. देयर इज नो अदर गो. लेकिन अभी एनी टाइम आएगा, ए वीक में. मैंने शेयर किया अटेंडेंस. दो बार शेयर किया same attendance. Did you complete the attendance? I'm winding up of the meeting, children.